All right, guys. Welcome to beautiful Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. We're sitting here on Ipanema Beach, right by Posto Novo. It's a beautiful sunny day on a Tuesday, national holiday today, so everybody's at the beach. And yeah, we got Josh from Brazilian Gringo here, talking about he's gonna be talking about how he got to Brazil and how he's using teaching English as a springboard for his next step in building an independent, location-independent business, a lifestyle business. Here in Brazil. Right now he's living in Belo Horizonte. But Josh, you mind telling us a little bit about yourself and how you got to Brazil?
Sure. So I've been in Brazil for about 2 years now, and I've been living in Belo Horizonte, which is it's the third largest metropolitan area in Brazil. It's like the sixth largest city. It's adjacent to Sao Paulo and Rio, the states of Sao Paulo and Rio. And I've been teaching English there I taught English there for about a year, and now I'm doing other stuff. But how I originally came to Brazil was I started out a couple years ago. I knew I wanted to live abroad and work abroad, and so I saw English teaching as the passport to that world.
Exactly.
So I did an English teaching certification in Mexico, did that for about a month. Then from there, I went to Colombia trying to make it work as an English teacher there.
Right.
I stayed there a couple months, but didn't really work out because I didn't make a whole lot of money in Colombia. I was making like $4 an hour as an English teacher.
Yeah.
It's not the way I wanted to live.
Yeah.
So when I got an invitation to come to Brazil, I was, yeah, all right, come to Brazil.
What about Brazil, got you to come down? What was it about Brazil specifically, like instead of Argentina or maybe another Latin American country?
Well, the big thing for me was that my brother, he's been doing business here for a couple of years now, so he knows a lot of people here.
Yeah.
So I got an invitation to stay with him, and not to stay with him, but stay with some of his friends. And so for 2 months, I was living in Vitoria,
Right.
which is a state north of Rio. And just as soon as I got there, I had this social network. I had all these people there to help me out, and it was great because during those first 2 months, I didn't speak any English. Nobody there.
So you learned Portuguese quickly.
I spoke Spanish before, so I learned Portuguese really quickly in that environment.
Yeah.
Complete immersion.
Exactly. That's awesome. Now, learning Portuguese, as I'm going to keep saying, is a huge key to your success professionally and personally in Brazil. But that's good that you got that immersion to go in.
Yeah.
So you came down. You're in Vitoria with your brother. Why didn't you stay in Vitoria, and how did you get into English teaching? Like, what did you do to kind of say, like, all right, I want my first student?
Right. So those first 2 months I was in Vitoria. Afterwards, I went back home and just was doing other stuff for a while. But every day that I was outside of Brazil, I was, as they say here, I was dying of saudades.
Yeah, morrendo de saudade.
Brazil was on my mind, and I knew I had to come back.
Right.
So I just applied my return. I wanted to know other places in Brazil, and I'd heard good things about Belo Horizonte.
Right.
But I didn't go there first. I first went to Rio. I stayed here for about a week, just trying to get a feel for the city, see if I wanted to live here.
Yeah.
But I didn't really know anybody.
Right.
And the city is really expensive.
Yeah.
Like really big.
Yeah.
So I was like, not now.
So you're a little intimidated of the city, weren't sure about if it was the right thing. So.
Yeah, because I think you really need to know people.
Right.
You have to have at least one friend wherever you go.
Yeah, that gateway, that guy who can open the doors for you, introduce you to people.
Right, because there's just a huge difference when you come alone and when you have people here to help you out.
Yeah. That community already set up for you.
Yeah, they just show you the lay of the land, show you where to go, who to talk to, they can introduce you to people.
Yeah.
So then I went to Sao Paulo next. I did the same thing there. I managed to get a job making 45 reais an hour.
Nice.
Instantly as an English teacher, but
it's not too bad.
Yeah, the wages are higher in Sao Paulo,
right?
But the cost of living is a little bit higher, and the city is huge.
Yeah, it's a monster.
The time that I was there, I was spending like 2 hours every day on the bus.
Jesus. There and back, like
just getting between like the place I was staying and the school. So I was like,
right,
like half an hour, walking to the bus, waiting for the bus, half an hour to get there.
So how long until you left Sao Paulo?
I spent about 10 days there.
Okay, wow.
I was like, no more.
Yeah. And then
Belo Horizonte was the third city I went to.
Third time's a charm.
Right. And I actually knew someone there, which it was my first choice. I didn't go there first. I wanted to try these other cities, but I knew someone there.
Ah, okay. So that made the difference.
Yeah, it made a difference. I stayed on his floor for a month. While I was,
like literally on his floor in his room.
And an inflatable mattress.
Ah, okay,
in his room. but he's
You paid your dues.
paid my dues. I mean, most of the people I know who come here in Belo Horizonte, they've had less than desirable living situations in the beginning.
Finding a place to live is really hard, as we've definitely talked about before. It's not something that just happens right away.
It's not easy. But
I just want to. Can we go into that concept of paying your dues in Brazil? Because everyone kind of thinks Brazil is this magical place where there's this obviously has great things, but there's also another side of Brazil with the bureaucracy, the difficulties, and the kind of hard times. And that's kind of why we're creating this product, because we want to help people avoid that, minimize that, and maximize this, right? So
with Brazil, you got to be patient. You got to be flexible. Things aren't gonna work the way they're supposed to do the first time.
Yeah.
You have to leave extra time when you're planning your day. Like if you're meeting someone at 11 and it takes 20 minutes to get there by bus, the first time you're going to that place, leave at 10.
Exactly. Yeah, leave at 10.
You leave at 10. Well, you're gonna.
Even if they're late, you should be there on time, and you should get there. Like you just. Yeah,
and that's another thing. Brazilians are culturally kind of late, and it's more socially acceptable to show up like 10 or 20 minutes late and not even say anything about it.
Right.
That's just how it is. But I like to show up on time.
Yeah, and I've gotten in the habit of kind of texting in advance, being like, "Hey, I just want to let you know that I'm almost there." Just so like they can be like, "Oh, okay, I'll be there sooner," because a lot of times they assume that you'll be there half an hour late, but if you let them know, they'll try and get there, maybe 15 minutes late, so you guys can kind of save a little time. Just a little trick, just text them and say, "Hey, don't assume anything." That's a big thing.
Good tip. But so I think just getting set up, getting an apartment, it's difficult. Rio, there's better gringo infrastructure.
Yeah.
But Belo, there's not very many gringos there.
So you're there on the floor with your friend's place. You're living in Belo. You're enjoying it. What did you do? What steps did you take to become an English teacher? What were the kind of first things you did? You had the certification from Mexico, but then did you go to a school or did you get your own private students? What was the process?
So I had this friend, but I didn't. It's my second time really trying to find a job teaching English. The strategy I took was I went online and on the Google Maps and I typed in Inglés.
Yeah.
And had all these different schools pop up.
And just quickly, Inglés is English in Portuguese for people who don't know that. Inglés.
So I put that on the map and walked out the places that were close by with my CV in English and in Portuguese.
CV in Portuguese, very important.
Yeah. And I left that at a bunch of different schools and just was walking around looking at schools. But like out of maybe 20 schools that I dropped off my CV in that first week, like 3 of them I heard back from.
Right.
And I went in an interview with like 2 of them. The first one of them, they had me take this test, an English proficiency test.
Yeah.
It was
that.
kind of ridiculous that a native speaker should have to take a test to speak English. Because I don't think they'd ever had a foreigner there trying to teach English with them, so it was completely ridiculous,
Yeah.
They didn't know what to do with me. So I didn't get a job that way. The way I ended up getting a job was the second week I was there, I went to this event called Real Life English.
Right.
Which it was these 2 American and Australian guy. They do this event where they bring together Brazilian English students and native speakers that ever come together and learn English together. So I went there and there was a bunch of English teachers there.
Nice.
I started talking to them.
It's a little bit of networking there.
Networking, that was huge. Like I talked to them, and within 5 minutes, I'm like, hey, I'm new here. I'm trying to find a job as an English teacher. And within 5 minutes, they're like, yeah, go talk to that school. They're hiring.
Yeah. So it's about that meeting that right person who can give you the information.
It just made my life so much easier because instead of walking around trying to find a place going in cold, I had this recommendation. Oh, hey, Alex.
Yeah. And that recommendation right there. Can we just stop for a second? I've been repeating this over and over again. That getting that recommendation is probably the most important thing you can do. The trust issue in Brazil is a big factor. So if you have someone say that vouch for you, this guy's legit, he knows what he's doing, you're automatically put at the top of the list. So I think that was a really great strategy.
Yeah, it made my life a lot easier.
Yeah, and the same goes not just for English teaching jobs, but all jobs.
Yeah, without those recommendations, I would have struggled. I would have gotten a less than desirable English teaching job, but they were able to show me the best jobs. Like these were already vetted companies that pay on time, that pay better than some of these random schools. The good locations, good clients, good students.
Right.
So it was really big, big help to have them point me in the right direction. And
so, how many hours did you work a week? Was it hard, like doing the work? What was it like? What was your lifestyle?
So, as an English teacher, you can choose as many hours as you want to work. In Belo Horizonte, the cost of living is pretty low, and the salary. Starting at a school in Belo Horizonte, you shouldn't work for less than 30 reais an hour.
Right.
That's the minimum that you should work as a foreigner. You can. I know a school that pays 40 reais an hour. It's the most I've heard of a school paying.
Right.
Privately, you can make a bit more. You can the floor.
Yeah.
All my friends charge is like 50 reais an hour.
Right.
So. And you can make up to 60 or 70 an hour privately.
So just kind of stop right there. The difference between schools and private lessons, private students, is a pretty significant, like maybe 15, 20 reais an hour more, which over time adds up.
Sure, but it's not an instant thing getting private students. In order to get private students, you got to pay your dues. You got to be there for a while. You got to build up your network. You got to meet people.
Yeah.
You got to.
There's no website where people can, are looking for that.
I'm working on that. I'm trying to make it easier for people to get private students.
Yeah, connecting both sides.
Both worlds. It's a huge pain point for both the students and
exactly.
The teachers. But right now, as it stands, you got to do your own work to get private students. You got to meet people. Got to get recommendations.
Well, hopefully by the time somebody watches this video, BrazilianGringo.com will have a place where you can go sign up as a potential English teacher and get students right away for private lessons, right?
Yeah, we're working on something like that. But,
awesome.
So to get the English private students, if you do a good job as an English teacher, people are going to refer you to their friends, and as a foreigner, you have a status.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to learn from a native English speaker.
I
and
mean,
they perceive them to be better teachers.
Yeah.
Whether it's true or not.
Yeah, that's true. Yesterday, just quickly example, I got a message from a friend, a girl here in Rio, saying a friend of hers is looking for a native American or whatever, any native English speaker, native English speaker to give her lessons, and she specifically said, where is she from? Is she from the U.S. or North America? And I said, yes, she's from Los Angeles. And she said, thank you so much. Like that factor, the gringo factor, in this case, really plays in your favor.
Definitely, yeah. Being a gringo is pretty much all you need to bring a gringo, a confident gringo who speaks natively. As a native English speaker, you're going to have no trouble finding a job. Even if you're not native, you can easily get a job at Belo and other cities. Rio, it seems like it's a little bit harder to get work as an English teacher, but that's really all you need. So I guess if we're going to give a blueprint for someone to... Well, before we get there, just going back to your other question about what's life like as an English teacher. So it's like the schedule... you kind of make your own hours. You can choose how many hours you want to work.
Right. Choose when you want to wake up. Choose when you want to.
Well, okay, there's three main times of day that people want English class. They want class early morning, like
right
7,
before work.
Right.
Right.
They want class during lunch.
At lunch.
12
right.
to 2, and after work from like 6 to 9. So
right.
If you want to work a lot, you're going to be working during those time zones.
Right.
And like the white unicorn of English teaching are students that want class in the afternoon, like at 2 or 3. Maybe you find some people who are going to university
right.
who are free during those hours.
Right, yeah.
Those are harder to find. So, my cost of living in Belo Horizonte was maybe 2,000 reais a month, like $1,000 a month. So,
Bom dia, obrigado. Got some peanuts here on the beach for us.
Yeah. I was always working not a whole lot. That way I can focus on other things. So I was working 10, 12 hours a week.
And that was covering your living expenses. So you're working 10 hours a week, so like a fourth of an average work week, and you were living, so paying your rent.
These were private. So this is like because I joined that Real Life English project I was telling you about, and we blog about English teaching. Obrigado. So
sorry, he's giving us hand gliding flight. So
yeah. I built up this me and some buddies, we built up this English teaching blog, became a big deal on Builders on Sheen. So we got all these people wanted private classes from us. So there was, for me, it was really like a short transition from just going all private students.
Yeah.
And I was making 50 reais an hour, 10 hours a week, 500 a month, or a week, 2,000 a month.
Covering your rent.
Covering all my expenses.
Yeah.
I cook at home. I was paying 600 a month for rent. Didn't go out a whole lot. And
so let's get into kind of the blueprint. What are like the exact steps someone needs to take? So taking from maybe someone right now is watching this and they're sitting at home in Europe or Australia or North America or anywhere in the world, and they're wondering, how can I transform myself into a Brazilian gringo who makes money teaching English, is able to enjoy the Brazilian culture either for 3 months or using it as a platform to springboard their career? What are kind of the 3 steps or 4 steps you can do to, get into the culture, get students, and be able to make money enough to live?
So a lot of people try to get a job as an English teacher before they come here, and that's not really possible, and it's not advised. What you should do is, before you come here, have an idea of where you want to go, which city you want to move to. Like if you're going to career hack, you're probably going to be in Rio or Sao Paulo.
Yeah.
Wherever you want to go, you want to make as many connections as you can before you get there.
Yeah, exactly.
On
Use
LinkedIn,
the online.
Anyway, I do some interviews on my site with English teachers in Brazil, so try and get in contact with other English teachers and learn from them. Ask them where are good schools to work at. Make friends here. Say, hey, I'm an English teacher. Try to get private students before you come by making friends online.
Yeah.
On couch surfing.
Yeah, couch surfing. Yep.
Just any way you can make.
So step 1 is create a network before you arrive. What's step 2?
So step 2 for when you actually get here is, hopefully in step 1 you've gotten some contacts and leads for schools that you can go and apply at.
Yeah.
If not, if you're going in completely dry, it's going to be tough. So you'd have to do the shotgun approach and call up a bunch of English schools and ask if they're hiring. But I'd say the first thing is have a nice buffer of a couple $1,000 that you can come and not work for a month while you're getting a lay of the land, getting to know people.
Right.
And get your apartment first before you get a job, because you don't want to be traveling 2 hours by bus to get to work. So
step 2 is get an apartment and start emailing English schools.
Just get an apartment and try walk around the area. It'd be ideal if you get an apartment and next door there's an English school that hires you, even if you make a little bit less or whatever.
Right, minimize on transport time and cost.
That sucks. You don't want to be doing that. So your logistics are going to control your happiness to a certain extent, and the better you have everything set up with, work here, live here, supermarket here, all that, it's going to make your life easier.
Definitely, like anywhere in the world, yeah.
Yeah. So
what's step 3, really closing those English teaching students, the private students?
Well, just to touch briefly on getting hired, you just want to go in there really confidently, even if you've never taught before. Just be honest, be straightforward, make conversation. I'm sure Ilya's talked about this, the way you interact with people is slightly different here. So you gotta, just be more social and make a personal connection with the person. If they like you, they're gonna hire you. And being native is more than enough in most cases. So when you go into the interview, just be confident that you can teach. Know something about teaching before you get here.
Yeah, do your homework.
People think that English teaching is like maybe what your English class was like in high school, that you're getting in front of a class and you're like, teaching grammar. And you probably know all the grammar rules instinctively, but you don't know how to teach them. And your students might actually know grammar better than you because that's all they learn, but they don't want grammar. They hate grammar. And focusing on grammar isn't really the best way to learn. So your teaching method is going to be focused on speaking, and that's what people want. It's a conversation class. So emphasize your skills as a conversationalist, as someone who can teach conversation, and you look for materials that'll help someone become a better conversationalist. And just come at it from that angle is teaching conversation.
Yeah.
When you go into the interview, just emphasize that. If you have any language learning background, then that is a big help. You'll have a better grasp of the language learning process, and that'll make you a better teacher.
Definitely.
Talk about that. And it's not hard to get hired. It's a numbers game. The more people you know beforehand, the less numbers you need to go through.
Right.
But if you get referred, you go to first job interview, you might end up working there, and then that'll work out for you.
Yeah, and then take it from there, and then just keep hustling, meeting people, getting more private students, putting yourself out there. Maybe you want to create your own blog, talking about what you teach, kind of create an online profile as well.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest opportunities in Brazil right now is in English. And as a native English speaker, you know a lot. And so if you want to make money online or make money as a teacher, you got to find a specialization. You could use your nationality. You could be British English, specialize in that. That a lot of people do that, but there's enough room in that market for that. You could be California English. You can be ghetto English.
Yeah.
There's a market for every little niche of English. You can teach English with soccer, teach English with video games, teach English with TV shows. And if you make a website where you talk about how that's your methodology for teaching is by using these other mediums, then that specialization will make it so much easier for you to get classes or to get private
That's your
students.
online business card. You meet someone at a party. First off, create a business card like I told you guys. Create your own personalized business card. Have your URL on there. When you give them, Brazilians are amazingly social and online creatures. They love online. They love social media more than any other country in the world, I would say. Even more than the U.S. It's insane. And so if you don't have a web presence, I think that you're really shooting yourself in the foot. It's really easy to create. And I think that, you're a great example of it with Brazilian Gringo. But there's no reason other people can't make something for themselves as well. So when they meet someone, give out that card and say, hey, find me online, or here's my Facebook page.
Yeah,
simple things.
And if they're going to be, if you're planning this months in advance, you could have tons
set
of
that up,
content.
exactly.
You can build this website, have a ton of content before you get there. Just put a website, the 10 things that 10 vocabulary lessons that you can learn from this episode of Friends, or the first 20 minutes of this video game. Here's the English that you learned.
Yeah.
Just any kind of cool resource that you can make and put on your website that people will get value from will make it so much easier for you to get English classes when you get here. To send that out to emails you're sending to schools, show students. So
great. So let's do this again. So you have to do your homework, meet people before you get here, network before you get here, find a place to live so you kind of got a base, go to all the different language schools, have an online presence.
It's not necessary to have an online presence to get hired.
Yeah, it's a bonus.
That'll just increase your opportunities.
Yeah, but it's definitely kind of a really simple process. It's just a matter of you being proactive about it and putting yourself out there. Just quickly, we got a couple minutes. Just let's wrap it up quickly. First off, maybe you said English is a big opportunity. Maybe kind of explore that a little bit. Get people, because people talk about teaching English, and it's really seen as this kind of thing that you do last resort. And for us, we're kind of using it as your base. But maybe just kind of explain for people, people who want to have a career in teaching English, and how big the market really is here. Because I think people don't really realize how much Brazil needs to learn English.
Yeah. So Brazilians know they need to learn English. The World Cup, the Olympics 2016, internationalization, the huge need is there. It's felt. Everyone you meet says that they're learning English and want to learn English, basically. So the demand is there. And in terms of where Brazil ranks in the world, they're ranked pretty low in terms of executives, their level of English. Their proficiency is not there. Maybe there's a statistic: 5% of Brazilians speak some English, 1% Brazilians speak English fluently. So 200 million people, and 2 million people.
I've heard some statistics that are 20% and 5% speak fluently, but either way, even if it's 20% or 5%, that still leaves a huge room for improvement, right?
There's a huge demand. The demand isn't going to be satisfied anytime soon.
Yeah.
So you can fill that demand, in person.
Yeah, help the country improve, help people improve their lives.
You can fulfill it by being an hourly English teacher.
Yeah.
You can fulfill it by building products.
And who knows, you might be able to teach English to an executive at a company who then refers you to actually work there. So there's all sorts of things. Please look at English as something you do as a gateway to come in, establish your base. And then if you want, continue with it. That's amazing. There's a huge opportunity there. Or that could really springboard you into a more corporate job, a more startup job, or maybe a solo entrepreneur career. So I think that's a really
on that
great
point
thing.
of executive English, like a lot of the companies, a lot of people who want to learn English are going to be working in these big companies who will pay them, subsidize the cost of learning English. So like you said, it's a really good in to getting a job at a company is by teaching English to them, because if I was a government agent, a CIA agent sent abroad to learn something about this guy who works at Valley, let's say, my cover would be as an English teacher, because I get to learn everything about what he does. Like,
yeah.
English teaching, you get them to talk about themselves. So he's going to tell you everything about everything that he does.
Exactly.
You're going to know that company so well,
yeah.
especially if you just teach to people at a specific company, you know
yeah.
everyone in that company.
So Josh, are you actually a secret CIA agent here?
Pull my cover, man.
It's a really great point. I really think it's a good note we should end off on here, because we've been talking for about 25 minutes on the beautiful Ipanema beach here. So any kind of last remarks you got to say to people, any words of wisdom, things you wish you would have known before you started your journey that you can help people avoid some pitfalls and close kind of.
Well, I guess Portuguese is huge. The more you know Portuguese, the more I would have made a bigger effort to network before I got here. I didn't really do much of that, and just anywhere you go in Brazil, even just knowing one person will have a significant impact on the time that you have there. So just,
yeah.
Any preparation, if the only preparation you do before you get to Brazil is networking, then you will be ahead of the pack. That's all you got to do, really. I think it's the most important thing to do is network.
Yeah, so if you want to learn about that, you can come talk to me. Yeah, obviously we already are talking, so you know how much I enjoy networking, both online and offline. I think it's the most beneficial thing you can do for yourself and for others, helping each other, help each other. So yeah, last question. Why? What's your favorite thing about Brazil? I know there's a lot of things you can choose. Kind of like, let's kind of end up on a more lighthearted note, because we are in Rio and it is a sunny Tuesday. What's kind of been your favorite part about this whole thing?
Well, the kind of answer that you hear from most people, and it's my gut answer as well, is the people. Just the best part about Brazil is the people. Just the way they are, the vibe they have, the friendliness, the openness, the warmth. Just within 5 minutes, you can break into a social circle and be friends with that person. They just immediately accept you. You know, like in Asia, you have these really closed off social groups, and no matter how long you're there, you're always going to be a foreigner. But you'll be one of the guys within 5 minutes here in Brazil.
Yeah.
So that's.
Yeah, I definitely agree. People are key here. So get to know a lot of people before you arrive. Plan out where you're going to go. Use English as the kind of your foundation. You'll meet a lot of great people. You'll have fun. You'll make some money to sustain yourself. And who knows? You might end up staying for a while. So if you want to learn more about Josh, you can visit his site.
BrazilianGringo.com.
Repping the shirt.
The biggest pain point for English teachers in Brazil is the lack of information. So that's why I created BrazilianGringo.com. Put this information out there about how to become an English teacher, and just making it an easier path, because there's no set path of how to do it. It's really...
Well, there is now.
Yeah, we're trying to make it a more official thing, but you really just got to... It's very DIY.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of Brazil. That's kind of a lot about Brazil, and that's why we're creating these products together. It's been a real pleasure having you on the show, on the product here. I hope everyone enjoyed. If you guys want to get in touch with Josh, please send him an email, josh@BrazilianGringo.com.
Yeah, it's all there on my site.
It's on the site, and if you want to learn more about how to use teaching English, he's the guy to talk to. So hope everyone enjoyed the show, the little video we made here on this amazing day, and
got a coconut.
Yeah,
chair,
got a toast.
Cheers.
Cheers. And we'll see you guys next time. So go to BrazilianGringo.com and get in touch with me or Josh if you want to learn more about how to come down, teach English, and then get your career set up. So yeah.
Falou, cara.
Até mais.
Cool. Okay, so the audio file, it's 30 minutes long.
Yeah. I can't share it. It says it's like serve over this memo send.